was open.
I didn't get my tweet out. We went a little fast for my liking, a little fast.
Oh, hey guys.
Yeah, we'll do it live.
What is up, everybody?
We're welcoming
We are
to
live.
the NBA show by DNVR Nuggets, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. That's your host, Adam Mares. I'm doing the hosting right now. I'm Brendan Vogt. Also with me, we have Eric, company D-Line.
That's right. Listen, Adam hosting the show the way I host guests at my home. I simply open the door and then provide nothing.
Hey, where we are!
Come on in. There's nothing to eat.
Did we already do the air horns?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
And speaking of air
we are
horns.
ready for this Wednesday edition. Present as always. You forgot this part, very important.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't. You pointed to DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Yes. Hey! Did you already introduce Eric?
Yeah.
Have you introduced yourself?
I'm Brendan.
So, honest to God, it's a joke, but it's also real. He did watch Top Gun, and he has changed who he is. It really touched him on a personal level.
Yeah. Not proud of it, but can't
You're
deny
very
it.
proud
No,
of it.
I can't
Shut up.
deny
You're
it.
so proud of
I
it.
will probably wear some version of this outfit for the entire summer.
Would you like Top Gun as much if Tom Cruise was like 6'4"?
Not at all.
Is that it's the
Yeah,
it really
that's
is the driving
The
factor.
100%
cool
biggest
short
factor.
guys.
Tiny
Favorite.
King.
Tiny
He's a tiny
Kings.
king.
I think I have to watch Top Gun. Everyone talks about it. I should watch it.
Let's go see it together.
Have you seen the first Top Gun?
No.
Don't worry about it. Just watch the second one.
And then the birthday boy is in the house. Superstar Dev.
Let's do this. I feel a lot older, actually.
Really?
Not in the sense of like just this birthday. I just have been feeling a lot older in life in general, like sleeping habits and taking medicines. And when I go to the gym, I'm like, I go there and stretch now.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to get shots. If I don't get shots up, so I'm like,
Yeah.
those guys, they're like, let's play. And I'm like, no, give me 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I have to get shots up and all type of things like that.
Do you bring the bands? Do you have the bands yet to stretch?
No,
That's coming.
I think that's next year.
Yeah, that's
actually.
next
I've been
year.
seeing all the older people do have the bands that they're trying to get their stretches
Dude,
in.
it is hilarious. Stretching is something that you don't quite understand why you're doing it until later on when you're like, oh, if
Yeah.
I try and move my muscle too fast, it's going to break.
Yeah. You have
Yeah.
to do it now. How old are you?
I have no idea how old
Well,
you are.
I actually,
Let's all
No
take a
guess.
guess.
I would say 31.
I'm going to say Dev is 58 years old.
32.
goodness. So I skipped a birthday, 2 birthdays for COVID. So I would be 31, but I'm actually 29 because of those
Oh,
birthdays.
let's go.
So you were right.
Man, I was right.
Which is a
31.
number I've never heard anyone say out loud. When you're like, how old are
31?
you? They always just never say 31. I don't know if anyone's ever been
Usually you don't ask people how old they are after a certain age, like
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
So it's very weird for me to have asked
Yeah,
you that.
I
as
think
well.
it's
you put me
completely
on the spot.
appropriate. Listen, although
Listen.
nothing makes me less excited when everyone that I work with
How old
intimately
are you?
every day reveals their age, and then I realize how much older I am than everybody, and it makes me feel both, aware of my own mortality and embarrassed.
You're at an age where it's embarrassing to be as old as you are.
Because I hang around with a bunch of fucking children.
Yeah. You do that.
Earmuffs, everybody, earmuffs. You know what, though? You're young at heart.
That's right.
Or
Just not
immature.
actually, but
Immature.
my heart is actually
You're an
quite old.
inspirational old friend. I'm
Thanks,
like, oh, I
man.
could do that. I don't have to give it up.
Listen, guys, listen.
Listen.
You two can be a bit player on a podcast about a team no one cares about.
Jeez. We are going to do a couple scouting reports today. We're 1 week away from the NBA draft, guys. 1 week away. Next Thursday, the draft, our draft show live, going to be a banger, as it always is. So you're going to want to set your calendar, set your watches. Next Thursday, don't forget, 4:45 is when we're going to be hitting live, and we're going to be live the entire night, right from these very chairs.
Ooh, draft day live.
Very excited for it. Also on the horizon, we have some big plans for Summer League as well this year, so you're going to want to also set your calendars for that. We're going to talk about Jaden Hardy in segment 2. Total Tim Conley pick. I'm going to get ahead of that
Yes.
real quick. Total Tim Conley guy.
No way it's sliding.
He's
to that.
going to Minnesota. I already know the pick. It's going to be him. Kennedy Chandler, we're also going to talk about in segment 3. But first, our top stories tonight. First, we'll have to start with the number one. It is being reported now by FIBA,
What?
Federation of International Basketball Association. I don't know. Something like that. They're reporting, as is the Serbian national team themselves, that Nikola Jokic will make his return to the Serbian national team, and he will play.
Let's go!
I'm telling you, man, like, now that he's playing and it's official, I can say this. I have a little bit of, I don't know what you call it. It's not like survivor's guilt. That's not what I have. But it's like, we share Jokic with Serbia.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
share it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he's not missing our games.
No, it's true.
He's been missing theirs, and I felt this weird. Like I totally get it. We've had the COVID. It's been shortened season. He's been playing long. Like I honestly, I think I think the Serbs have been a little hard on him. Okay. That being said, I've had this little bit of guilt in that, like, I want him to play. I want them to get what we get.
Yeah.
We finally do.
I feel the same way. I when I heard the news, I was like, oh, thank God we don't have to survive a barrage of Serbian anger based on Nikola Jokic skipping another international tournament. And then I was also like, if he gets hurt, I'm never talking to Voya again.
You'll hold it against them all.
Yes.
Not even our Serbian correspondent Miroslav.
Oh, we're cutting
Voja.
that segment.
You're cutting it out. Your first when you saw that.
Yeah, same way. I love it, and obviously, understanding of why it didn't happen last time, but I didn't want to see it happen again. I just didn't want
Right.
that tension
Yeah.
between. Obviously, we know that on some level, this is important to Jokic. We know on a massive level it's important
Right.
to the people of Serbia, and he is a hero in Denver, and he should be a hero in
Yeah.
Serbia, nothing less. So hopefully this is a return to that status of unanimous glory.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Like, do it for your country. That was already upset with you, but now you have more things. Like, he's back-to-back MVP, so now the
Yes.
attention's on him a little bit more.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's great for Denver fans because now he has to care a little bit more about
Yes.
the offseason. So
Yes.
he's going to be back into trying to prove who he is. So maybe he keeps it a little bit more serious. But also, hopefully he's like not taking it too serious where he's overplaying or anything like that. I want him to be competitive and things like that, but I want no one to get hurt. So I do think it's exciting in a lot of different layers.
What's weird about international play, though, is that there's like all bad teams and then like 4 good ones. And the way it works is you're going to play pool. It's like if you had to play the Magic 5 times and then you go to the playoffs to play the Warriors. It's like it's a weird system. So for me, part of me looks at this and I go, they're going to have the ramp up. They're going to have to do training. I'm guessing that they kind of know, like, hey, he's a 2-time MVP. He's been through all this. We're going to lighten the load. We joked maybe he's going to come off the bench
Again?
in pool play. Well, why not? If you're playing against some of these teams that are you should win by 20, 30 points, why not let him come off the bench, play 20 minutes a night, and ramp up towards it, especially when you look at the schedule. They play, I think, 5 times in 7 days or something like that. There's 2 back-to-back. There's a lot of games. If you can win them, why not? And then when the tournament kind of begins, you play them a little bit more. But honestly, I don't care about any of that. I just care about I think it's cool. I think it's real. I get to see Jokic play basically
That's what it is.
Yeah.
about a month earlier, maybe
Yes.
6 weeks earlier than I was
Yes.
going to play. I'm already like, I already miss it. I haven't gone back actually. Have you watched Jokic highlights yet?
Can't do that to myself. We're
We're too far away.
Not until the NBA season is
Yeah.
over. Like there's live basketball to be watched, so you have to watch that, and then you later on you can be like, I can't believe I was like watching that, thinking that was enjoyable basketball.
You know what's funny? The only highlights I've watched this year, Michael Porter. I've watched his highlights a little bit, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
you haven't
gotta-
seen it in quite a while. I
know.
think it's great because right when the NBA Finals is over, it's like that dead season where they have baseball on.
Yeah, oh my
Nobody
God.
cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
What about
So-
soccer? Soccer's
Make
on
sure you watch
Nobody-
DNVR Rockies. I'm
So,
on.
yeah,
Featuring Brendan Vogt.
I'm on tomorrow.
Yeah, so you get to like
Even less
you get
people
to
care
relive
now.
those like positive times and like the happiness that only Jokic brings us.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. And like I said, I really do. It's one of those things where like all of our Serbian friends, they've joined us in their like pain
Right.
and suffering and excitement, enjoyment, and
Yeah,
winners
that's
and
true.
losers lounge, and now we get to join them.
We have to,
And,
yeah.
And by the way, and like
forward.
first of all, this happened in 2017. Last time we saw Jokic play in USA, and every time US would score, you'd be like, damn it. And you're like, wait a second, what? Wait, what's going on?
Oh, I was
here?
fully rooting
And
for
then by the
Jokic,
end of it,
yeah.
you're like, what do I care? I'm not going for Boogie. I'm going for Jokic. So like,
Although now Boogie's our guy.
and now Boogie
It's so
kinda-
confusing.
It's so the world is so messed up. But now you get into this European tournament. It's Eurobasket, so it's going to be all European teams. Giannis allegedly is going to be there representing Greece. You got Luka, the 3
Luka.
best players in the NBA, all playing in Eurobasket. It should be a lot of fun. And I'm not going to lie, scale of 1 to 10, if Serbia loses, I'm going to be like an 8.5. Maybe I'll be back. My first thought was I'm excited, I'm happy for Serbia. My second one was we better win this.
Yeah, but it gives you like now you get 2 teams to like root for and things like that.
Who's the
also.
other one?
I guess USA.
They're not in Eurobasket
It's the
though.
Euro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're all in on
make
it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're all
We
in.
make fun of you, but Brendan made the same.
No, mine was
observation
off air.
earlier.
Don't bring it up now.
No, I know. No, I'm saying it now so everyone hears because they
Oh,
have
I
to
see,
hear
yeah.
you say
Right.
that nonsense.
Yeah.
or
That's
whatever.
right. Yeah.
No, I'm excited for it. I'm all in. And if you look at it, man, I'm telling you, they should have a strong team. I mean, my understanding, it's been years. I know Yugoslavia had some Eurobasket. I don't think there's been a Eurobasket because of COVID and this or that. But this is an opportunity for them to kind of return to glory, the Serbian return to glory. So,
how confident are we, chat? Let us know, Serbian friends.
Oh,
how
you're asking the
should we
Serbians
be?
how confident they are?
Yeah, that's,
what do you mean?
Yeah. That's like asking you if you think you're good at something.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. I feel like I would be good at a lot of different things, too. That's the thing
You're like,
about it.
now that you mention it, there are a number of things I feel like I'd be good at.
I am bummed. One little here. I'm bummed that Bogdan Bogdanovic is out. He's had the knee surgery. That would have been the best. Like, there's a part of me that just thinks, get those two guys together, having a blast, plant the seed.
Plant the seed.
Yeah, just I want Bogdan eventually. That sadly won't happen. But nonetheless, Micic will be there, who I know has been, Denver's been rumored to have interest.
As have 30 other teams.
This year intel is getting it.
It means he's good.
Or it means that it's off season and people are just talking.
The last bit of this that I think is extra special, guys, is that the tournament begins on September 1st. For Serbia, it begins on September 2nd.
Well, hang on a second.
Now, holding on a second.
Think about that.
Really good chance that's going to line up perfectly with our Serbia trip.
Come on.
Air horns. Now it gets to the point. Now it gets to the point where we always talked about doing live shows, out in Serbia and doing this or that. There might be post-game shows.
Live
Oh,
post-game.
We don't know. We might be
Live
doing post-game shows live from.
You know what's gonna be-
It's going to be the season again.
You know what's going to be embarrassing is that when we wake up late and realize we missed the game.
Wait, we did the calculations wrong, and we're like, oh crap.
Or that we just we all felt we drank a bunch of Rocky.
Wait, how did they do this a lot?
We're like,
Yeah.
wow, we really dropped the ball.
We didn't watch it. Somebody turned down the lights and explained what happened. So this is shaping up. This trip was already going to be the greatest trip ever. It's shaping up to be like an order of magnitude better, to actually get a chance to watch Jokic play for Serbia while in Sombor.
Are we going to see a recreation of that clip I shared the other day on Online with D-Line where flares that we don't know if they're dangerous or not? Like in the
We're not going to be at the game. The games are not in Serbia.
Okay,
so we won't be there.
Okay,
But I imagine the bars, whatever the Serbian equivalent of a sports bar is going to be, it's probably just a sports bar.
Maybe that's where I'll celebrate my birthday. Maybe I should just hold out.
You just hold out. Don't celebrate it now. Oh, come on.
Are we going to have to Are we going to have to continuously wish you happy birthday between now and then? Because
The entire
I'm
time.
so out on this plan.
And bring the cake and everything.
Can we all celebrate birthday? We just all make our
Well, it
birthdays
depends.
then?
When is yours? It has to be in that time.
Oh,
frame.
I live in a new post-birthday life. I don't have birthdays anymore.
hasn't had one in a long
I just
time.
age every day.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Every day I feel worse.
Serbia trip just got a lot better. Other top story today, our second top story, Bones Highland returned to the hardwood. We've had a surprising lack of footage of players working out. And usually player workout videos, whatever. It's not that, they could be silly, what have you.
Aaron
The
Gordon.
only one we've got this year so far is a Kevin Durant highlight reel of him destroying Aaron Gordon. That's the only player we've seen. And
Whoa.
he's the workout, he's getting beat up on. You haven't seen this?
The other thing that we've seen, I'm saying, you're also not acknowledging, we saw both Juancho Hernan-Gomez / Bo Cruz and Aaron Gordon playing against Adam Sandler, essentially.
I haven't seen it yet.
What is wrong with you?
I know. I
You
don't
just literally
know.
push a button. You don't have
I
to
know,
buy
but
a ticket.
they got the kids,
What do they do? They wait up 24 hours a day?
No, but when they go to bed, you have to do all the stuff that you couldn't do when they were
Yeah,
up.
watch the goddamn movie.
No, Eric,
There's
you don't
no
understand.
excuse.
It ruins your life.
Everyone try. I'm
You're
just trying
like,
to
I
say.
have nothing.
Why
Eric.
can't they watch? Why can't they watch? It's like
Yeah, why can't
Could
they
they watch it?
Yeah, it's a kid friendly.
They're not going to want to watch it. Are you
It
kidding
has
me?
Adam Sandler in it, so of course it's kid friendly.
They have this show they watch called Bluey. It's 6 minutes long. That's their attention span. That's 6 minutes. It's unbelievable. So anyway, I'll get to Adam Sandler's movie here before long. But we haven't seen a whole lot of surprising lack of Michael Porter Jr. I know you've been watching for Michael Porter clips. One came across the timeline yesterday.
Can we play
that? You should find it.
I'll find
Did you
it
say
here.
find it and send it to Kale? We can
I'll
get to
find
it
it
after
here
the Bones
on
segment.
my timeline.
But finally, last night we get Bones Highland in the Philadelphia Pro-Am, and he was putting on a show. The entire video, by the way, is up online. But I'm going to fast forward for you guys. Pro-Am's not exactly the best basketball. Usually it's pretty bad. It's like a Harlem Globetrotters. It's somewhere in between the Harlem Globetrotters and like a pickup game. In that there's not a lot of
Washington Generals.
yeah, exactly. But I got to say, there was this very great moment late in the game. Let's go to it, Kale. This is how the game ends. By the way, Elam ending, setting the stage. Elam ending. I think at this point it's first team to 82. Bones gets fouled. That's his first free throw. He's basically saying, "Nah, man,
No, I'm
I
good."
don't want to win it at the line."
Oh
Boom.
my God.
He just gets rid of the ball.
Disgust.
You know
Just
what's
like
crazy
this
is
guy,
that-
then he punches it back.
The worst part is that that's how Mason Plumlee actually shoots free throws.
Get this shit out of my
Bones
face.
like, bro, I don't want to win it at the foul line. I don't even want to get close. I want everybody to know that I'm going to shoot a three. His basically his way of saying, no, I'm going to shoot a three the next time down. All right, here we get some beautiful basketball. Like, look at this. Like, what's this guy doing? We don't know.
When they say Steph Curry ruined the league.
Yeah, they said, and then Bones says, all right, we need a three.
Dude,
and then he tells the crowd, let's go.
And they move out
Let's
of the way.
go.
'Cause they just know.
They just know. I mean,
And now look at this
All
video.
right.
He gets D'd
You
up.
are a victim.
we are, this guy's
Just
like,
another
and he's
victim
not letting,
shit.
he's like,
Playing hard.
all right, you're not going to do this on me. And Bones is like, what are you talking about, bro? Get on my level.
Oh my
That's the most casual way to end a game. And look how demoralized the dude is that
Look,
gets scored on too.
throws his shirt. At
He
the
immediately
guy
goes
that's
into
supporting him.
showmanship.
I'm
Keep
gonna
it. Look
end
at
every
this.
podcast
Here's the
this way.
replay. Let's see this. It's a bone staple, right? That's
I like how
through the
everyone just
legs,
gets out
step
of
back,
the
and look
way.
how casual. And look at this poor guy. He knows
Oh,
he
he
can't
just
look back.
walks off. He
And then
just
Bones,
wa-
he's
oh,
still
he's
going.
dancing.
10
He's
minutes
still
later.
going.
Oh man.
Bones Highland, the ultimate showman, man. Like Bones is
He's
made
still
for.
dancing.
He is made for the pro-am. He is made for the exhibition game.
Yeah, there's those guys that you like going into it. You say, are they a hooper? Are they a baller? And things like that. Like this guy wants to play at all times. This is what he's made for. He goes out and he proves it.
Pure hooper.
Also, not only did he like prove it like to everyone else, it's like this the state like right over, like city right over. So it's like a them versus us type thing. So you already know that people are like, hey, it's Bones Highland. We're going to play extremely hard against him. He's not going to come here and do that type of stuff. You got to downplay it as a competitor, as a basketball player. And then for him to just destroy you in that type of way. And it's not like he just shot it every single time. They even showed assists and things like that.
Yeah.
So like there
He
was
had some nice ones.
There was some other, big time names there, or like at least guys that have played at some point, but he is the headline, and then he goes and wins it with a buzzer beater. Has the camera crew there. He's dancing. He's showcasing himself. Like this was a Bones ISO in every single way, and it couldn't have went better.
Bones, can he do anything sauceless?
No, there's no way. He
I was
can do
on
anything.
I was on a Zoom call with him, and he was driving a car and eating crackers. It was very sauceful.
It was very saucy.
It was the
wasn't it?
sauciest Zoom call I've ever been on. The man can't do anything without sauce. The ending of that's the greatest thing I've ever seen. That's the dope. Like just to defiantly throw the ball against the backboard. I'm not taking your fucking free throws, and then just to catch it from
It's like
half court.
if a cashier gave you change back and you just threw it at their face.
You're like pennies. Gas.
It would almost be more like, I always wondered if the coolest thing Barry Bonds back in the day when everybody would walk him, I thought it'd be cool if he swung twice just to be like, I've got 2 strikes. Are you still going to walk me, or would you throw it knowing I only have
That
1
would
strike
be
to get out? It'd be the
super
big. That's almost what that is. He's like, I don't need the free throws, bro.
Incredible.
I don't
but
need the extra chances.
The mentality is what like gets me, because in his mind, I'm sure he didn't see it that way. Like I want to do it like that, even though he did. He's probably like, they did a 1-and-1. It was like not a respectful way to win the game. So let me go and win it in the right way. So he thinks he won the respect.
The noble.
And all he
the
did
noble
was
way. He
embarrass
did.
somebody.
Well, first of all, he kind of did.
Yeah.
He kind of did.
I don't even think
sure.
it's noble. It's just like he just doesn't want. He's like,
That's the lamest thing. He's
yeah,
like, this
yeah.
is
He's not being noble. He's like, no, I want you to feel this.
it's kind of the opposite of noble.
I almost.
Yeah, dude, it's really like it's noble in the same way that punching someone right in their eye in front of their mother is noble. There's a Woj bomb.
Yeah,
that's come
speaking
across
of
the
beloved
timeline.
Nuggets guards, free agent PJ Dozier has been cleared to resume full basketball activities already. He'll be available for the start of preseason training camp.
Let's go.
Sources tell
Holy
ESPN.
shit! What?
That
That
is
doesn't
crazy.
sound right at all.
That doesn't sound possible.
No,
No,
it's-
I understand Woj's. No. It's a correct report, but like he just got hurt like 2 weeks ago.
Oh my god,
He
it's
said
so
2 weeks
true.
ago. I don't know, man. He's been saying that he's doing like 2-a-days and workouts and things like that. You don't do that on your way to coming back.
Yeah, he's been.
He's
my
back.
Dude, PJ Dozier.
Yo, I'm so pumped. Hey,
Has been
Hey.
pointed out in the chat.
Hey.
If there's a
Oh,
Mr.
you're
Nugget
right.
vacancy,
I was just thinking that.
if
too,
there
man.
is a vacancy, which we are not hoping for, we're not reporting, we are not.
it's a hard left to go from Bones is awesome to there. He might not ever return.
Oh yeah, shit.
That was a hard left turn.
I didn't really realize the left I was making, but that's what I just did.
That is what you just did. We're gonna forget you said that. Nonetheless, PJ Dozier. Look, man, there's a lot to unpack here. I mean, part of this is Denver's had so much bad injury luck that part of me is like, I'm injury averse.
I know.
Like, I just don't want the injury players going into next year. But, PJ Dozier does fit a certain prototype of what Denver needs.
He also may be available at a very, very attainable price, right? I mean, and I don't. It's unfortunate for PJ, but I would imagine Denver's front office probably views PJ as a guy that can help them in a more solidified way than other front offices around the league.
This is the way that you guys looked at me when I came onto the podcast.
Right, everyone else thought you were useless.
Very, very,
you were such a good deal. It was a great deal.
No, we can get him for sure.
Locked him into a lifetime deal too at that rate. It was crazy.
Look at you, still here getting tricked.
Yeah,
real Scottie Pippen deal we gave you.
I'm Mr. DNBA. Everybody knows
Mr. DNBA. Mr. DNBA. Well, that's an interesting one. I mean, you'll be curious to say we're so early. If he's resumed now, you've got 4 months, bro. You got time even yet. But I just assumed I penciled him in for a January return and then not till April he's ready. Who knows? I know that with him, there's been injuries in the past that have. Remember the story was that he injured himself when he was young, didn't get surgery, and it maybe messed up his. So maybe this is a thing where they've done a different surgery because they're like, hey, your knees are already kind of effed, but this will get you for another 5 years.
The timing is perfect on it. Going into the draft next week, if you want to throw something out there or just an idea. Also, you get a whole summer of trying to prove that you can play, and I'm sure we'll have videos that surface of him playing and things like that, but there's going to be a lot of teams that need that type of guy. So I think it's good for him right now to have that come open. So
PJ's the ultimate glue guy. That is a full glue guy in the NBA.
That's awesome, man. Well, that's good news. Good for PJ Dozier. Awesome for Bones Highland. Awesome for the nation state of Serbia. Just good news all around today, guys.
Yeah, what else is going on online these days?
Do you have something else? Or
well, Kel, if you want, we have seen Michael Porter Jr. footage.
Oh, finally. My God. All right. We'll get one before the break.
Working out we finally seen.
Let's check it on Michael Porter. How's he doing, guys? What's Michael Porter up to these days? He's got to be doing great. I assume. What are we waiting for here?
We went to the Kel before he was ready. That's my bad. Michael Porter Jr. Putting work in at the barber shop. It looks as though potentially a package of ramen noodles has been glued to his head.
That's messed up. Eric, you are the worst.
What are you talking about? So now they're look at this though. He's got the fresh fade going. He's looking great. Formerly, Michael Porter Jr. looked like an R&B singer from the '90s. Now looks like a Backstreet Boy. Are you excited? Look at this.
Are Backstreet Boys R&B?
Backstreet? No.
They're just boy
pop
music.
They have no rhythm nor blues.
That's so true. Look,
all
man.
right. Well,
I got nothing. I got nothing for you.
Are you guys ready for the NBA champs to be crowned? I sure am. Join the finals action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can make any $5 NBA bet and get $150 in free bets instantly. If you're looking to turn another small bet into a big payday during the NBA finals, well, you know how to do that with DraftKings. Use the same game parlay feature. Create your own parlay by combining multiple bets. Which team will win? Total threes made. Tatum under points. Just like that, you are a rich man or woman, potentially. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code DNVR. Make any $5 bet during the NBA Finals and get $150 in free bets instantly. That's promo code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-522-4700. And it's a Wednesday, which means I got to talk to you about our good friends at Green Mountain Dental Group, longtime friends of DNVR. And we've had several DNVR listeners make the switch over to Green Dental Group full-time because they're the best damn family-owned dentist in the metro. And here's the deal. They're extreme Colorado sports fans, just like you, just like me, just like all of us here at DNVR. So exchange that awkward dentist small talk for some sweet, sweet Nikola Jokic talk. What's better than that? Almost nothing, but this is close. When you schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam at Green Mountain Dental, you receive a free Sonicare toothbrush as well. So go ahead and schedule that. Check out Green Mountain Dental Group and let them know that you're there because of us. And we're back.
All right, and time to go prospecting, guys. A little prospecting
fellas.
here. A couple guys that are available to the Nuggets right around that 21st spot, but we're going to start with Jaden Hardy. Jaden Hardy. All right, Vogt. What do you know about him?
Hoopers. Jaden Hardy is 6'4".
He's a hooper.
With a 6'9" wingspan from G League Ignite. And
That's a Gary Harris build, by the way. That's a straight up Gary Harris
build. We've got Dion Waiters there for the comp.
Yeah, that's a great comp. It's stylistically.
Stylistically, it actually makes a lot of sense. And Kel, do we have strengths and weaknesses?
I would call him full Dion Waiters.
Strengths. Let's focus in on that first one. One-on-one scoring.
Would you say he's a bucket?
He is a bucket. That is the best way to describe him. Creative scorer, really good handle, very comfortable stepping back, pulling up. Very comfortable stepping back and pulling up. Sometimes guys are elite scorers in college because they are just bigger and faster and stronger than everyone. He is an elite scorer because he is just a bucket on any court.
He's really skilled, man. Like you almost
skilled.
can't gloss over that. Like he has a lot of really good moves. Loves the step back, but he can get to it in a lot of different ways.
Yep.
And then he's just got I don't want to say a Kyrie handle because it's not that level, but he's got a good handle for a guy his age. Like the skill level that he has right now is probably there's probably not going to be that many players that have the skill. When I say skill, I'm talking specifically about dribbling and shooting.
Sure.
Not that many players are going to get to even his level. It's very high skill level.
Yeah, and when you combine a very tight handle with real pull-up prowess,
yeah.
I mean, this is a guy that can get his own shot.
Yeah.
He's a 1v1 threat, but he's also pretty good out of the pick and roll as a scorer, shot effectively as a scorer in that action. Obviously, against drop coverage, if he's comfortable pulling up, that mid-ranger is saucy. He's got that all day long. As a playmaker out of the pick and roll, a little bit of TBD. I mean, this is not something the Ignite did super well or did a lot of, but it might be something a front office executive at the next level is intrigued by in him. The shooting potential is there as well.
Shooting potential, it's kind of funny because his numbers were like whatever, but you watch his shot.
Yeah.
Gorgeous shot.
I was actually surprised after watching the highlights to see how low his efficiency was.
Well, we'll get to the reason for that probably here in a bit.
There's a lot of reasons. But like,
But
you ask him like you ask if he's like a scorer. Like as a junior, he was the Gatorade Player of the Year for Nevada. He put up 30 points a game. He put 62 points in a game, like a comeback win. In high school, 62 points is like you just have to be mentally different. Like he's a killer in every single way as a one-on-one scorer. So like when you think about his like offensive tree, he has all the things that you need from like that combo guard type of feel. He elite ball handler, scores if you put him in the open court, ISO score and things like that.
Catch and shoot scores.
He can shoot the ball, and he's going to probably just get better with that because that's going to be something that he has to get better with. There's also those cons, and I'm sure you're going to
we'll get to him in a second. Real quick on the shooting, not just a catch and shoot guy, which is often how we talk about a lot of shooters and with regards to prospects. This is a guy you could conceive of coming off movement, coming off screens. Again, he's just comfortable shooting the basketball.
And when you watch the highlights of him making shots, a lot of those threes don't hit the rim. Right. A lot of them don't just like it's just perfect. Like even the net just kind of like makes a little movement. Like his shot really does look pure to me.
And the range. I mean, think Bones. Like a deep pull up is a staple of his game. Let's talk about.
I also the balance is great. The reason I mentioned this is some guys shoot a little bit. Like I think Bones is almost this way where like he kind of does a lot, then he has to set. And then shoots. His like somehow he gets balance. He's very, very, very fluid. He's so fluid. Like he just like gets into his perfect rhythm, almost Ray Allen-esque. Duncan Robinson has this thing where he could be running full speed to the side and just somehow smoothly goes into the shooting motion. He's got that too. I think he's going to be
in the air somehow. Yeah.
I think he's going to be a great shooter at the NBA level if he makes it.
There are some weaknesses. For as good as he is as putting the ball through the rim from a distance, he is not a great finisher. In fact, he's not a good finisher. Very disappointing, 38.6% at the rim. Not great going to his left. And he's not the strongest dude in the world. Probably could do well developing a floater, but that's something still leaves to be desired.
When you say this, not a great finisher at the rim, I don't think people understand. And then you give the number, your tendency is like, okay, he's bad. 38.6% at the rim is insane.
It's a bad
insane. Like bad at the rim, you can be 45, 50% at bad. Like, hey, he's got to improve there. 38.6 is like, and then when you watch the low light part of his scouting report, some of these misses, honest to God, the guy it reminded me of was Emmanuel Mudiay. Remember when Mudiay would miss some shots at the rim that looked easy, Like it'd be a layup where he should be open. You just got to finish it. No contact, no contest, and like he just rolls around the outside of the rim because you like
break the other way.
You missed it so bad. Yeah. Like he has a lot of those, and then he has some where a guy will contest and he'll go up so awkwardly that it'll hit the backboard, not the rim, and you'll be like, dude, that was a 4-footer that you almost airballed.
Right, and part of it is because he's not super comfortable absorbing contact. Definitely way more comfortable with that right hand.
It's so damning. The way what I saw in the scouting reports was so damning that it made me think he's actually an extremely solvable player. Like one of the guys we're going to compare him to is Cam Thomas, who's like who is a bucket, but he has his own shortcomings or this or that. But if you're a rookie, and especially if you're not in a rotation and you get in, you might put up 30 points. And I wouldn't be surprised if this dude checks in for the Thunder draft him or something. He plays one game and nobody knows he's not on scouting report, puts up a bunch of numbers. Right, remember Cam Thomas had like a 40-point game or something this year. Like I wouldn't be surprised that happens. But if he were to play immediately, if he went to like the Orlando Magic and they're like, hey, we're going to see what he's got, I think the scouting report's very quickly going to be like, push up on him because he is not going to finish at the rim on anybody, and it would be damning to where it's like he's easy to guard. Actually,
you talked about him being solvable. I think that's really like what becomes difficult for him at the next level is there's all these elite defenders in the league, and also like the coaching and everything like that. They're going to know the scouting report. They're going to go straight to his weaknesses. There are going to be a lot of times that he has to go after those weaknesses, and the ones that stand out, he's not finishing at the rim, and he's also a streaky shooter that does not like contact. But he's also a scorer that wants the ball in his hands.
Right.
That just becomes like times where he's OC, like he's just super out of control. He can't get to his spots or anything like that. And that's when those type of issues align with themselves. Yeah. Also, every single scouting report that you have read on him says that he like does not take good shots. Bad shot selection.
I think that's coming up here.
Every single one.
Yeah, well, let's just go ahead and throw that on there as well. It is the Cam Thomas comparison's great. Dion Waiters, both the good and the bad. You get a lot of, I'm calling my own number here, with some disregard for time and place and all that.
And some insanity. Like some of this is, when you talk about shot selection, some of this is guys that are just selfish or they've played a certain way, like this or that. And some of it is like you don't know what's a good shot or not. And I worry with him, it's that part. I worry it's like you sit a guy down and you're like, dude, no, that's not good. He's like, what are you talking about? I make these all the time. And He's like, yeah, but
it's like Tatum takes that
there's
shot.
Sorry.
All roads lead back to
Tatum. I love that. He's like, Tatum does.
He's in the finals. And then, sorry.
You felt good about that one,
I did, yeah. That felt good off the thumbs. And then as with any Nuggets prospect right now, perhaps the first question anyone at home has is, how's he as a defender? Not great. Not great. He's a little flat-footed. The effort's not always there. The closeouts they're slow to get there. They're easy to attack. He's a guy that'll get blown by. It just doesn't seem like all of his attention and effort and focus is on defense.
Hearing. Let's get this guy.
No, here's what you're hearing, because you're right. Like I hate saying this about guys, especially when I'm only watching the highlight reels, the scouting reports, to say, because they're highlighting when he doesn't. But some of the effort on some of the lowlights of his defensive, you're like, yeah, that dude does not compete. Like that was like a non-competitive. I know there's flat-footed, there's slow foot or whatever, but then there's like, you just weren't trying.
Someone's on the bench. Like, is he serious?
Yeah,
you know
what I mean? Serious right serious?
Now? So and with that mentality, it's easy to do it if you're scoring a lot of baskets. He's going to come into the NBA as a scorer, but he's going to be an NBA talent. He's not an NBA talent type of scorer. He's a pretty good scorer. But so now you're focused mentally, but you're not even a good defender, and then you're really not that good of an offensive player because there's so many other talented players. So you bring him in next to a Jamal Murray, a Michael Porter Jr., a Jokic, and he's bad as a defender, which you really need, and he's also like an okay scorer, and he's going to be like the 9th best option in that. It's like, I don't know what we can do here.
Yeah. And when you talk about at the NBA level, like if he went to Houston, whatever the next year's version of Houston
feels
is,
like a Houston player.
Well, it's like a kind of, because
he really does.
He is Jalen Green.
No. He's Josh Christopher. Remember, Josh Christopher was the second rounder. He's like the second round version of Cam Thomas, where it's like he also gets some shots up, and he got an opportunity, and he had some nights where people were excited. But if he goes to like a Spurs, or just go, like it's late in the draft is where he's going to go. Yep. So if he just goes to a team that's like, no, you have to earn your way on the court, I don't see how he would do it, because it was that far away on these things.
On the flip side, he might light it up at Summer League. It could just be.
He might. Summer League.
People might be like, "Did you guys see Jaden Hardy?"
Dude, he's definitely going to have a very good Summer League.
One more thing,
have a
bullet
great
point on the
Summer League.
weaknesses. For as prolific and saucy as he is off the dribble, he's not a dynamic athlete, not a particularly strong athlete.
Right.
And so that is something, obviously, for a guy who's 6'4" at the next level, should come into play a little bit as well.
I think the one thing I will say, though, about the scouting report, because we're spending an extra amount of time on the negatives, the reason he is a late pick with those negatives, but he's not a second rounder or like a late second or something, the reason is because he really is that enticing as an offensive talent. Like,
yes.
He reminds me, the comp I put out there is that he's sort of a hybrid between Cam Thomas and Bones Highland. And we know how we feel about Bones. Like, he has a lot of sauce to his game. He has some great footwork, some great moves, really, and high level. Like, when we talk about pick and roll, it's doing some high level stuff. I will say this, in the first half of his video, I did the like, ooh, like more than maybe any other player I've done. Where I watch it, I'm like, holy hell!
Yeah.
I even put in the chat when I was doing it this morning. I was like, fire emote. I'm like, bro, this guy's awesome, and I could tell what was coming. Like he's got the type of game right now. Before he even got to the negatives,
Yes.
I'm like, I know exactly where the turn's
And I
going to
guess
come.
that's almost why it ends up sounding like spending more time on the weaknesses. He's just kind of easy to understand that way. Like the strength, he is a one-on-one scorer, and that is hard to oversell. The finishing will be a problem, but like at some point for someone's bench, he's going to take over a 5-minute stretch, and look amazing.
You know where I think he goes?
Minnesota.
He's a total Tim Conley pick. This feels like
Dane, focus in.
This sounds like such a Tim
Circle the
Conley
name.
pick, man. Straight hooper. Where's he from? Is he from Baltimore? Do we
He
know?
has to be.
He has to be
He's from Nevada.
Oh, he's from Nevada. That's right. Oh, he was born in Detroit, and played in Nevada. So.
How much time did he spend in Baltimore?
Yeah, but he's been to Baltimore.
He's
I
gotta
knew
be
it.
up there,
He's
I
been
think.
there.
Yeah.
He loves Old Bay.
So he's. I gotta be honest, man. He was a lot of fun. I don't see a universe in which he ends up on the Nuggets.
To me, there's virtually no fit here. It feels very redundant with not just the last draft pick, but just the skill set all up and down the roster. You have a lot of offensive.
You know what's
talent.
funny, man, is do you remember when they drafted Bones? Allegedly, Jokic, not allegedly, Michael Malone said this, or Tim Conley said this. Jokic reached out and was like, yo, send me some tape. I want to see this guy, which really, to me, is like, that was a detail that we almost glossed over. I feel like that needed more time. I don't think Jokic 4 years ago was asking for tape on draft. I think he met draft picks when he came back into town and was like, who are you? Are you a coach? Oh,
Where
you're
did
a player?
you play?
That guy played.
Yeah. Oh, what's your name? Michael Porter Jr. Okay, good to meet you, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
who are you?
Yeah.
But instead, so I wonder, like, I keep thinking, like, if you did draft this guy and he looks like, send me the tape, and they send him any of this guy, he'd be like, the hell's wrong with you guys? You want me to play with this guy? Driving me nuts.
He's watching the tape with his hands up.
They're like, we wanted Jokic to be like more of a leader, but now he's telling us what to do. He's telling us he hates the people that we're bringing in. It's kind of awkward.
That'd be
Yeah,
funny.
I am not out on Jaden Hardy as a player, but like as a Nugget with where they're at right now, it doesn't make a ton of sense.
What do you guys think?
I mean, everything that you guys are saying like makes complete sense. I mean, I agreed with your initial assessment. Like, oh man, this guy can shoot. Like, I like his mechanics. I like the way that he that his jump shot looks. Like, he has like a really nice looking Euro step. I'm really surprised to hear that his finishing at the rim is so bad. I mean, I guess I didn't watch the same video you did. To me, it looked like I was like, oh, okay, this guy can do a little something at the rim. But
I think what it is he gets to the rim really well. So when
Yes.
he gets there wide open, he
Yes.
finishes.
Well,
but when
apparently
when
those
it's
were the
like,
highlights.
but when he doesn't, when he gets there and has to like,
yeah, but I mean, it would be criminally negligent to draft a guy that doesn't bring defense to the perimeter at this point.
It'd be kind of awesome. I would respect
It would be
bit.
it would be a full
little
like
bit.
fuck it. Like,
what if Bones does get traded this summer? Because he's the best trade, whatever. And they're like, you know what? We could. It's the next Bones.
We just did this with
I love
Monte and
I love
Nembhard,
the
right?
idea that yesterday we looked
Yep.
at a guy that's a proxy for Monte. They're just like, we like our team, but like not the team. Like, we want these guys, but like different guys that are those guys.
It would be hilarious if they go get Nembhard and this and
Yeah,
him
they're just
like
like-
21-30. They're like, but we're trading
we
Monte.
give them Monte's locker and Bones' locker.
Yeah, but based off of like the draft being next week, does whoever they pick tell you what they're gonna do here shortly? Like, if they get a guy like that, does it say like, okay, now
a good
they're
question.
really pushing for Bones to be out, or if they get a Monte replacement, this guy fits.
If they drafted an offensive player, I would be like, who's gone? Like,
Who's
there's
gone?
more
That's what
players.
I'm- yeah.
Offensive guard, I'd be like, they're trading two or three of these guys.
yeah. So if they draft him, who do you,
I'd be like, well, that means Monte, Barton, and Bones maybe are all gone. Like
Yeah,
they're
so
just
that's why. Yeah, this
resetting
this is tough.
everything. I don't see it. I just don't see it happening, man. I mean, he's an interesting player. Of all the players we have profiled, I think I would be most shocked if they took him.
Now I'm expecting it.
Yeah,
Buckle up,
now,
everyone.
now you can mark it down with ink.
Oh, that'll be such a good, like callback. All right, let's take.
On the show we're
Yeah.
like,
Let's take a break. On the
happened
other
before.
side, we got another
Happens
one.
every year.
Kennedy Chandler. Kennedy Chandler on the other side.
Breckenridge Brewery is the official beer of DNVR, and they have an official beer called the Avalanche
Amber Ale.
Amber Ale. And that
you may remember it from saying it every day for
is written down
3 years.
in front of me. But
And drinking it.
if you're doing a little word association at home, that may make you think about the Colorado Avalanche, the hockey team, who are in the Stanley Cup final.
Starts tonight.
It
Let's
does
go.
start tonight. Come to the bar first and foremost. You can have all the Breck brew you want. Fill your tummies to your heart's delight and watch
your
your favorite
tummies.
hockey team
Fill your tummies.
start an avalanche
tum-tum.
here in Game 1 of the Cup final. But also, don't forget about the Breckenridge Brewery Avalanche Amber Ale. Score 2 for a brew deal. What's better than the Avs scoring 2 goals in the first period? How about a free beer on game days? Start your Avs game with an Avalanche Amber Ale at any bar or restaurant and save your receipt. Then just upload that receipt to breckbrew.com. They'll pay it back via rebate. And I cannot get out of this read fast
Man,
enough.
that was an unmitigated disaster. It was an avalanche of errors.
Once you start giggling in the background, dude, it's my eyes off the ball.
The
We're
giggler
back.
strikes
Only one.
again. All right, let's get into Kennedy Chandler.
Yeah, let's talk a little
Let's
Kennedy.
do it. Why not?
Chandler.
Ooh, Chandler.
All right, well, we're talking about another guard, but we're talking about a different player, different.
Dude, great
skill
job
set.
on the color orange on that one, Kale.
Looks
It
phenomenal.
really looks great. That's like my favorite graphic.
I mean, that's the color from the Tennessee Volunteers.
I understand that, but you could, as you know, you sometimes pick a color that is not quite the right color, and I notice it with my eyes.
Do you?
Yeah, my great eyes.
I feel like you notice it with your heart.
I notice it with my heart too. Look at that color orange. I'm very into it.
Kennedy
Great
Chandler had some.
Great job, the guy who branded the Tennessee Volunteers.
Kennedy Chandler has some pick and roll potential, both as a scorer but also playmaking. You'll see that listed as a strength as well. We'll talk some of the weaknesses in this case kind of feed in to that strength, the pick and roll potential. Maybe he gets to be a 3-level scorer, maybe not. We'll elaborate on that in a bit, but he's a quick processor and he gets downhill quite easily. There's some shooting upside as well. Looks like a guy who could be able to shoot on and off ball at the next level. We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and add point of attack defense as well, personally, for myself. And then on weaknesses, the shot is a little inconsistent for the upside that's there. And then here's the deal. He's only 6 feet tall, 6'5" wingspan, 19 years old.
Look at you being a heightist.
Fellas, it's another tiny guard.
Oh, I thought
Which
were
means
saying
you love him.
Tiny King. Yeah, I was gonna say I expected you to kind of.
No, we're out. That summer's over, dude.
That
Tiny-
summer- the
I don't know
Tiny
if you
King
guys have
summer
noticed.
is over?
Everyone hates short people again.
It was Short King Spring.
Spring. And
We're
now,
into normal sized human summer.
yeah, draft a 6-foot-tall guy. We will
You know,
storm
actually,
the-
next season begins tall fall.
Oh, tall fall.
Tall fall.
As in,
Guys,
we shall make you fall.
it's so dumb.
I agree.
bad.
I'm
really,
not proud of
really
So
bad.
thinking of Chandler, there's nightmares that's coming back from CU fans. Like he really destroyed them in every single way. 27 points. He got to wherever he wanted on the court. He's the fastest player I've ever seen with a basketball.
Man.
Like,
Really?
and super
Ever.
small. And he's fast. Like he really is. He does whatever he wants with the ball in his hands because he's so quick. Some of his weaknesses is he has a very tough time scoring over bigger players, which he's going to the NBA.
Yeah.
That's going to be like very tough for him. Like he can get to where spots, but he's not going to be able to finish extremely well. It's also a bit shocking to me that he's 6 foot and he plays off the ball sometimes.
Right.
So like him as the second option to Murray being the ball handler, it just kind of doesn't make sense. Or like those types.
Yeah, it does in one way though, because here's what he's good at: the swing pass, catch it on the move and attack, and now you're the
Yeah.
secondary creator, and that's a real skill. Like that's almost its own skill set to me. Different from this is like the defense has made a half rotation, not a full one, but a half rotation. Now the ball swings, can you attack it? And I mean, one of the comps he has here on the ringer is Darius Garland, shiftiest player in the NBA, I think, in my opinion. Tyrese Maxey, Jameer Nelson, like to have that ability to kind of attack downhill off of nothing, go 0 to 60 like that. To me, I actually think that does fit with Murray.
It's actually something the Nuggets have lacked quite a bit over the years.
Yeah, he's not a bad.
He's just too small.
He's not a bad defender. Really good, like on-ball defender.
Right.
Gets his hands into it. He was like second in the SEC in steals. He like led them for like the entire year, and then someone caught him at the end. But like he competes. He's like a true competitor. Like gets after it, and also he knows his role. It's not like he's stepping out and trying to be someone he's not. High IQ passer that tries to see plays before they happen. He's not forcing too much. So like I really do like him. It's just the fact that I'm still shocked that they're still going after guards and also small guards.
Oh, they might not be. We're just analyzing them.
Yeah, but the interest with the guy that they just
Nembhard,
had, and so now him, like, it just kind of goes like maybe they are like that's just the market. That's what they want.
Nembhard is big. The one thing is he's 6'5". Like that's pretty big. This guy's smaller than Monte. He's 172 pounds.
And that might be a generous listing too. Like it might be more 5'11".
He looks pretty small on the court. Also,
that's the thing. It's not just height. He's thin. Like and so point of attack defense definitely was something he did well at college, Dev. But to your point, like there's just a limit. We've seen it.
Do you identify or connect more with like the Facu small or with this guy small?
Well, Facu's actually my height.
Yeah, I know. Well, but I'm saying this guy's like skinny,
Yeah.
like Facu.
No, Facu, because Facu also can't, like, he's not much of an athlete. You know what I mean? He's grinding for every centimeter.
I don't know.
he
That
gets
guy
up there.
flies around, man.
Well,
I would
the
totally
motor.
call Facu an athlete.
I would too.
He's not a high flyer.
That's what I'm saying.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have like all the basketball athleticism. But you throw him in a rugby game, man, that guy would be zipping all over the court.
Holy smokes! I wonder if he's
field.
ever tried soccer.
He probably would be a really good rugby player.
He'd be a great one. He's like tough enough for it
But
too.
much like Facu, you can have all the point of attack defensive prowess in the world, but when you're undersized, there's a limit. There's a limit on that. So, one of the reasons why he plays off ball a little bit still, and why there are questions about the 3-level thing when you talk about his pick and roll upside is the pull up range from 3 still isn't quite there. He'll do it from mid range, but he doesn't have the Hardy range or the Bones range, and he's not quite as willing. And with the way you understand modern guards and what defenses know, it just makes it a little more easy to kind of, I think, guard him in that action when you're not quite as afraid of that threat.
Isn't it funny what's happened to the NBA where we're like, oh, just can't shoot from 40 feet.
I know. He's got a lot to it. He's not scaring defenses with the pull-up 3 off of a pick and roll 30 feet from the but that actually is something he doesn't do, and we just talked about a guy who does it quite well. So
I push play. I was like, okay, pretty short. Looking a little short there. Good shot. A little short. Stop.
You're out on the short guys.
I mean, I just can't have it. We're just not in this place. Like we have deficiencies with our rim protection, which makes perimeter defense so unbelievably important for this team. And so we can't, like, this is like, he's a pick that you would make because I mean he's a scorer. His jump shot looks great. Like he's a guy that and to hear Dev say his quickness makes you think of like Ish Smith or something. Like that's a valuable player in the NBA. It's just like we don't have the luxury, unfortunately, because of who Nikola Jokic is, like and just who our interior players are at current to be able to make room for a player like him, I think.
When I just go and look at like the things that Denver needs to address, it's never speed and guard play. Like right now, it's not
speed. It's almost a luxury. I do think they could definitely use it, but you're right that the offense is fine.
It's
even without the speed.
Either way, without
that answers everything for me. It's not that I'm down on these guys. It's just like it's not the need for the Nuggets or the biggest need. Would it be great to have? Yes, I think it open up Denver in different ways, and also especially with him being pretty much an insurance piece. Like if you do have to get rid of a Montero, if you do have to get rid of a Bones, and like you can still have that guy there. But also with Jamal coming back from injury, you just don't know what that's going to be. So if that does happen, if you do make a move, now you're throwing this young guy into the fire, having to find his way as an undersized guard, which they're already going to have defensive issues as is, and now you throw him in there. I just think that it becomes difficult.
Well, I'd be surprised, if they moved like all of these guards, like one of Monte or Bones or Will, and then maybe you're that much more comfortable bringing a player of this type in. But I get your point. Look, best player available is probably the most important thing, even still. Or 9.5 out of 10 times. but it just feels like a guard would make everyone roll their eyes right now. I think everyone's on.
Oh, I don't think a guard would.
No?
An offensive guard.
In offense, well, yes.
I think a defensive guard is kind of what I expect the most.
Sure.
It's just-
But like then you hope he's kind of that combo size wingy type, and I'm
6'6",
yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
I'm to the point now where if the Nuggets do not draft a wing or a large defender, I will be bummed out.
I mean, it would hint that they have somebody in mind, maybe in a trade
that's
type
true.
scenario.
That is
But
true.
because honestly, part of me,
Or if they, I should say, don't acquire.
yeah, I was gonna say
One way or
a big part of me thinks like I just am. Are we counting on a rookie to come in and save the defense? Like, I
No.
just don't think
No,
that.
I
So,
don't, yeah.
so for me, part of me, if they drafted, one of these guys that just like, I would be like, I don't know what's going on. But if they drafted a guy that was a little bit more of a if they drafted a backup center, or even if they got one of these guards who's more of a combo, has some
Sure.
like Nemhard or something like that. He's not solving the defensive problems, but maybe 2 years from now he's actually as good. I would get it. But if they drafted one of these little guys, I'd be like, man, we know it's so hard to build that skill set. You have to think he's like the best player of
Right.
that mold to be able to do it.
The only thing that keeps me like thinking about it is right now this is a Calvin Booth draft, so that kind of decides what he does here, decides what the direction of the team is. Like looking forward, you don't want a rookie to come in and they're going to answer anything, but also it's like, okay, these are the type of guys that he likes. These are the type of team that he's trying to push towards. So if you bring in a defender, you're like, okay, they really want to address the defense. If they bring in a guard or an offensive guy, you're like, okay, they're saying forget the defense. They're going to be all offense. So
Right.
I think that the timing is just so perfect to see what it's going to look like for the next couple of years.
But they've just said defense themselves. Even Calvin personally out loud so many times. You just, to Adam's point, if that's not how it's addressed in the draft, you probably just think they're shifting their focus to trade or free agency.
Of the guys we've gone through, do you have a guy you kind of lean towards?
I like a combination of Tari Eason. He'll be gone. I like
Maybe not.
I like Beauchamp.
By the way, these mocks, I'm telling you guys, people paying attention. Yesterday, what did I say? Nembhard, he was like 45th. I was just hearing that's way off. He could go as high as the 20s or
Right.
this or that.
They'll change
Today,
a lot.
Gavoni, who's the most plugged in, had him 31. So now you're starting to see him move up in these mock drafts. Like, I think the
And
intel's there.
I like Jalen Williams. Like if we get him,
He would be the example of the guy that I wouldn't be mad at,
Right.
but it wouldn't make sense immediately. It'd be like, okay, a year from now, hopefully,
yeah.
he-
I mean, like
he has
Yeah.
flexibility.
he feels. I mean that feels like that feels like a savvy pick. I don't. It doesn't necessarily feel like a plug and need necessarily pick. I don't know, but I just want a big wing defender at this point. And but like you said, perhaps the draft is not the place to find that because that's not going to be a plug and play guy regardless.
Maybe it's both. I mean, I do think there's another scenario where Calvin Booth says, we're just going to cast a wide net. We're going to draft a guy. We're going to take a second rounder. And we're going to take a free agent. And we're going to make a trade. We're going to bring 4 of them in and figure out where the chips
Right.
fall. And it could be that. Do you have a guy?
Yeah, I've sort of been leaning towards Jalen Williams as well. I think maybe he hits in neither categories, but I think he's kind of
We're hilarious.
Best of I know
We're the
doing it.
funniest.
We're doing it again.
We're doing
I
it
think
again.
we're best of both worlds. With he is bigger, like he's got
Yeah.
the size,
Yeah.
but he knows how to play the game.
Yeah.
I think with Jokic, we're often talking about you kind of want type A or type B,
Right.
and maybe he gives you the best of both worlds a little bit.
Do you have a guy?
Yeah, it's either Jalen Williams or Beauchamp.
Yeah.
I think like just having the size, and then also wanting to play defense. I also think that they would buy into just this is what I'm going to be. I'm not going to be a scorer. I'm not going to be like I know what Denver needs me to do. I'm going to be that, and then I'm going to progress in every single way. So I think that they just have the best fit. I'm not sure if they're the best, players or anything like that, but I think it makes sense for the Nuggets.
I think I'm with you guys on Jalen Williams. That's why I was laughing because we're all funny. We all like the same multiplayer. When I told some of the people down at Ball Arena the other day, they're like, "That's who I would have predicted you would have liked."
would like,
It's like such an Adam player. But I really, what can I say? I have a type. I really like him. Dalen Terry is the one guy nobody mentioned that I think was somewhat interesting to me. I'm kind of interested in him. I'm a little bit intrigued. You guys will laugh at this one. Since I didn't have the scout on him going into it in the Coloco one, but I'm kind of interested there. Like I don't know if Denver wants to use a backup center as a pick, but I don't know at 30 if they feel like they have the other holes. I wouldn't mind that being a guy that maybe next year he makes a small impact, but years down the line he just seems like such a nugget, So he almost seems like a Paul Millsap mentality. He's a different skill set, but like that he would just come in and be like, what do I need to do?
I like EJ Liddell.
That's the real Paul Millsap.
The real
That's
Paul.
the
I like him too. I
Oh,
don't think there's
like
any chance he.
The Koloko makes sense just because, like, think about excited, we were when Boogie was playing well,
right,
and how good the team played when he was playing well. You bring in a guy like that that's young, and also you're not having to worry about the inconsistencies or anything. He's young, and he's just going to play hard every single time. Like, that is a pretty good fit that I didn't even think too much about.
Is there a guy that you guys feel like, I don't necessarily like this pick the most, but right away he would help the Nuggets?
I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know. There probably is a guy out there. I just don't know if it's that. And again, so many things hang in the balance. Like, for example, I think a Jalen Williams might be a guy that could end up playing, but you better have some really good defenders. Like, you probably at that point have completely reset your backcourt. So again, it just depends on what pieces are around, are there. I will say one thing I am kind of leaning towards more than most years. I wouldn't mind trading both picks. Denver has both picks, and if you're trying to make a big swing, I would not mind if this was a year that Denver got off both and just didn't have a pick. Like, there's not a player in here where I'm like, man, they can do this or this.
It'd be hilarious if they went through to acquire 2 picks and then used none of it. They're like just
it could be, though.
I mean, I know.
They're poker chips, You just acquired a new poker chip that you can cash in for a couple different ways.
Yeah, especially if you already have your core, you have the guys that you want, and also you just ask, is there a guy that can help you right now? I don't think so, and I think Denver's window is right now.
Yeah.
So having those 2 picks and not using them and trying to get somebody else or like a vet or something like that, I think that makes more sense than just getting a guy just because you have it.
Having said that, that's so funny. This stuff is just the same back and forth. But as Wayne pointed out, at least one guy on your roster being a cheap, controllable contract on a guy with upside is not a bad thing. And you can look at the Warriors too with Jordan Poole, and that's, although he's tailed off, striking gold.
The Warriors also have this unique thing
where
they're spending $380 million a year.
That's
like
a good
if
point.
Denver had another $100 million that they could pay, like that they were doing.
They do.
No, they don't. The Warriors have that because they inflated their cap sheet with Kevin Durant and then have just been coasting with that.
I see.
So, and to your point, the Nuggets actually could start building towards that in 3 years they can do that.
I see what you mean, though.
Yeah, but you have to inflate it. Like, you can't legally get to $380 billion unless you somehow inflate your cap sheet.
Hey, is Embiid playing for France? Do we know that yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
But I don't know that.
God, that would be an easy
For
team
France?
to root against.
France?
My guy Gobert and Joel Embiid for Team France.
Man, can you imagine them fighting it out for
on.
a spot? Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. All right, that does it for today, guys. We're going to be back again tomorrow with the Thursday edition. Nuggets back to hosting some workouts.
That's right.
So we'll be at Ball Arena. Then we'll be here for the live show. Can't wait. Hit that like button on the way out. Let's go, Avs.